My knowledge and awareness was very low.
I didn't even know that kids could get arthritis.
Never heard that kids get arthritis too.
No, we had no idea that children could get arthritis.
I didn't know that arthritis was a childhood disease.
Most of the people at my school, they did not know that kids could get arthritis.
We really didn't understand the disease very well. We didn't understand how it was impacting her life.
People don't take this seriously. It can be crippling. Without the medications that Sophia's on, she would be in a wheelchair.
It's a very cruel and devastating illness, and if it progresses, it does damage that you can't repair in the future, and they have to live the rest of their life with that damage. It's very difficult.
You know, we must have went to at least 3 to 4 doctors, my wife going in and hearing the same thing over and over, the leg is just falling asleep.
The pediatrician sent us to orthopedic, and the orthopedic first thought it was growing pains.
We had to go to several different doctors to get an accurate, diagnosis.
It stopped me from doing the things that I like dancing, and a lot of other stuff.
The medical industry is completely, in my opinion, unaware and untrained to look for the arthritis in children.
I think it's just got very little exposure, very little visibility.
I met a 12-year-old girl who had recently been diagnosed, and she was in pretty severe chronic pain. But what she told me was that the hardest thing since she had been diagnosed was when the kids at school found out and began calling her grandma and walking around like they were in a walker. And that was the first time it really registered to me what it means that there's such a lack of awareness that this disease is real.
I have stiff joints, and I don't let people see that because I don't want people to see me as the freak that nobody wants to hang out with just because I have swollen joints.
As a 13-year-old, she doesn't really want to advertise it to the general population in middle school, so it's really tough. She just doesn't want to be, oh, that kid with arthritis.
I don't know any other kids in my school that have arthritis. None of the kids really understand it, and so it's kind of hard to explain to them. So the only time when I really talk about it is to my teachers.
We've been affected with the lack of awareness in regards to the schooling, the teachers not ever having a child with arthritis.
I think because the disease is invisible for the most part, teachers forget. Even the best teachers forget.
Having arthritis in 5th grade, it's kind of a challenge because we do a lot of writing and reports. The other schools, they treat me like I had no arthritis.
One particular subject was handwriting, where she would get 2s, which are Ds. This is for 2 years. And if you look at her hands, there's a lot of swelling in them, so she can't hold a pencil.
It's really tiring with my hands.
She got 2s for effort.
Like they told me to write when my hands hurt, they told me write more, write more.
How can you say to someone the effort of this child is a 2, is a D, when they have arthritis?
They gave me a F-.
There needs to be a voice out there to tell somebody what's going on and what our children are going through.
After all these years of kids not believing me, I have no voice. Nobody's gonna listen to me.
The kids need help. They need somebody to be a voice for them.
Last year, I was at a friend's house and she got an email from Terry Hatcher saying that Terry was raising money for Children's Hospital Los Angeles. And I told her, please tell Terry what a wonderful thing she's doing raising money for that hospital because they have done such an amazing job with Sophia.
And she said, thank her yourself, and she gave us her email. And my husband, Joel, and I sent Terry an email talking about Sophia and the care that she's gotten at Children's Hospital and telling her a little bit about juvenile arthritis.
And the next day I got an email back from Terry herself saying, your family deserves all the love and support I have to give.
Very shortly thereafter, we saw her Facebook page, and she had put our letter up, our email, along with photos of herself in a bathing suit with a sign across the front of her that said, "Sophia, this one's for you."
Obviously, that was an incredibly moving moment for our whole family, but it was also a stroke of marketing genius on the part of Terry and her daughter Emerson, because with one stroke, they tied all of the publicity that Terry's triathlon swim generated to Sophia and to juvenile arthritis, and it made international headlines.
And she dedicated her swim to Sophia.
I think she's cold in the water.
This was such an unbelievable publicity opportunity for the 300,000 kids in this country that suffer from juvenile arthritis.
It was a sign with a roll of paper, and I made some flowers.
She then went on to talk about Sophia on Regis and Kelly and talk about wanting to bring awareness to juvenile arthritis.
It's the Malibu Triathlon, and it's benefiting Children's Hospital Los Angeles.
I see.
And this year I did it specifically for a little girl named Sophia who has juvenile arthritis. And so I was really trying to put a face and some awareness on that disease.
These children need a voice, and I think Terry Hatcher could be that voice.
They'll listen to her because she's a celebrity, and they know at that point that it's a real cause. Not only older people get it, and it's really serious.
It would really, really help us raise money to get the medicine we need.
For us, this is game-changing, and it can make all the difference for my 13-year-old, so that by the time she has to have her hips replaced again, maybe it's the last time she has to do it.
The more attention that we can bring to it through people like Terry Hatcher is going to make a big difference down the line.
It's one of the best gifts that you have from being a celebrity is the ability to shine a light on things that don't get the attention that they need and deserve. This was such a personal story for me when I met Sophia. She has juvenile arthritis, and it doesn't get a lot of attention, and it's awful and expensive to treat, and just the idea that a celebrity puts a voice to something. So, it's the least I can do for how blessed I've been in my career.
With Ms. Hatcher, having someone as talented, as personable, as intelligent, it's very much appreciated.
To have someone like Terry go on television and discuss it brings so much validation to every child that suffers from this.
There's just not a dollar figure for the kind of hope that generates.
So thank you, Terry, for everything you're doing.
Terry, thank you so much for stepping up to the plate and being our voice.
Thank you, Terry, for help spreading awareness for us kids. Thank you, Terry, for helping kids with arthritis. Thank you, Terry.
Terry, I just want to thank you so much for all of your support. You'll never know how much it means to us, to Sophia, what you've done.
Thank you, Terry. I love you.